So we get to finally see what Garp can do in this chapter. But first, welcome back to the Straw Hat Duo. My name's Charlie, and today we're going over chapter 1080 of One Piece, titled The Legendary Hero, hence the Garp thing. The cover page story is just Kawamatsu and Hiyori playing with origami. Just a happy-go-lucky cover page story. It's a fan request. Akamai Io? I don't know. Probably butchered that name, but hey. So this chapter takes place 100% on Hachinosu Island, Blackbeard's Island. There's a ton of information that is given to us in this chapter, and there's a break next week. So starts out with everybody on Hachinosu Island, Pirate Island, going, hey, Kobe's escaped, you know, we got to get him. We see his wanted poster for the Marines from the Cross Guild, and it turns out he's a 5-star and worth around 500 million berries. So that's pretty cool. Kobe is worth, you know, what Usopp is. We cut over and we see the skull on Fuller Lead Island talking. And we find out a little bit later this is one of Blackbeard's crew, you know, that has a island fruit, I think it was. We'll get there. The skull starts going, you know, I feel this tickling sensation in the left side of my chest. That's right around where we keep the unsold slaves. Don't tell me they're escaping too. So it's Pizarro. Pizarro has that devil fruit. So we see the pirates on the island going, oh, can we just go open season on all of them? Another pirate's like, yeah, quit being so bloodthirsty. We need them alive, including Kobe. And then we see Pizarro, the island, go, listen or I'll tell Teach. We see what appear to be citizens here, or those could be the escaped slaves. I'm not sure exactly who it is, but it looks like they're not pirates. And they're like, is the voice coming from the rock face? Then we see Kobe sitting here with a ball and chain, much like they had Luffy tied up or chained up with on Wano and Udon. But he's got like a torn pant leg. He's a little beaten and bruised, but he's just carrying the ball and running. He's with all the escapees. And it looks like their jackets are either numbered or it could be just uniform. But some of the escapees start crying. But then we see Shiru of the Rain and the corrupt king Alvo Pizarro. I don't know how to say that. We see those two sitting there talking. Shiru is like, you know, you could just catch him yourself. And Pizarro's like, nah, Teach always gets pissed at me for causing too much damage. And then we see Vasco shot flying out of a doorway on a bubble, it seems. Similar to the bubbles that we see at Sabaody Archipelago. Pizarro and them are like, you know, what do you have in mind? And Vasco's like, well, if I burn down the town, there'll be nowhere left to run. And Pizarro's like, oh yeah, it's a perfect plan, except for, you know, if there's no town left, it's still a bunch of damage that Teach would be pissed about. And Vasco's just sitting there drinking. We learn that the town just got patched up from the Rocky Port incident. We see San Juan Wolf laying there sleeping. We cut back to Kobe running away from all of the pirates. They seem to have caught on to him, found him. He's like, you know, I might not be able to escape, but at least I can distract them long enough so that the others can escape. And as he's running, we see a flashback of him tied up in front of Blackbeard, Aokiji, or Kuzan, and the sniper. I don't remember Blackbeard's sniper's name. And Blackbeard's like, you know, I have an idea. If we trade Kobe for this becoming a government-recognized island, I can be the king of the island, and, you know, we could be the Blackbeard Kingdom. Has a nice ring to it, huh? And Kobe's like, you know, that sounds delusional. He's not wrong. There's no way they'd acknowledge this country, a country of criminals. Blackbeard here is sitting there laughing, you know, going, oh, well, don't be so mean. You know, it is my dream. It's not nice to piss on somebody else's dream, in his words. And he's like, yeah. Besides, I'm keeping you alive to be a bargaining chip against him. Kobe, at this point, he's like, the Navy government would collapse before they roll over to a cowardly terrorist like you. He continues on. He's like, yeah, also, you're wasting your time, because I'm a member of SWORD. Kuzan, at this point, you know, acts surprised and goes, oh, okay, that makes sense. Blackbeard goes, the hell's SWORD? Kuzan says, you know, it rules out using him, Teach. If he's serious, it'll be a total bust. He's already given up his quote-unquote Marine code. SWORD members are Marines who are no longer recognized on paper. And everybody here is pretty shocked, other than Kobe and Kuzan, obviously. Kuzan goes on and says, everyone in Sword has officially resigned their commission. That allows them to ignore certain command protocols. For example, they can fight an emperor like you without authorization. And the Navy can always disavow their actions and cut them loose at any point. Teach, at this point, Blackbeard, continues and he's like, I get it. That's why some of the rats scurry away while others don't hesitate to gnaw on your fingertips. And he continues on. He's like, yeah, I know which ones I prefer. I imagine it's probably the ones that put up a fight because Teach likes to fight. It's obvious. He continues on. He's like, I doubt the government would write you off that easily, though, being a hero and all. So if things don't go my way, I could at least give the government a bloody nose. So he's like, yeah, if I can't use you as a bargaining chip, I'll just kill you. So then we jump back to the present as Teach is continuing on, going, until then, keep them locked up. We can't have them slipping away and ruining my fun. And then we cut back to the present of Kobe running and him trying to get away. We see another one-panel flashback of how he got out, and it was Perona. Perona? Yeah, Perona. Ghost Girl. She let him out because she wants him to free Moria. Whether he did that or not, we don't know. We don't have any information on that. It's just one panel cut or back. So we could end up with a position of Moria being back in the mix of things. At this point, Kobe overhears that there's some Marines on the island. He goes into his thoughts going, I wonder if they sent Marines for me, and then battles with himself the way he does and goes, oh no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. I gotta stop thinking about the world revolving around me. And then we see two really buff Marines just beating up on the place, and one of them gets their head cut off, and it turns out it's a golem made of clay, which was made by Prince Groose or something like that, the one dude we saw a while back. Then we see some buildings moving, and my first thought was, this is Pizarro with his island fruit. He's just moving some of the buildings around, making it a little bit easier. But then we see, what's her name? Kujaku? It is the granddaughter of Suru, and she's got the whip fruit, which allows her to, she's a tamer woman who ate the whip fruit. Whoop. But she's using the whip to move the buildings. She's taming the buildings and causing them to move. She sees two of the pirates that look at her and go, what? Have you never seen a Marine on this island? Her and the one chick from Impel Down, I believe it was, would get along just fine. But then we cut over to Kobe being surrounded. All the pirates aiming guns at him, and they all fire all at once. And all of a sudden, a bunch of flowers come out. Then we see Hibari, who is also a member of Sword. With her rifle, she shoots and uses a flower bullet. I'm guessing it's one of the Vegapunk things. And it confuses all the pirates there. They're like, why are flowers coming out of our guns? At this point, Prince Gross, a clayman who ate the squelch fruit. That is a terrible name. But past that, he hears over a transponder stale, Prince, what's your status? He goes, yeah, it looks like we're all set. Sounds like Kobe's safe too. And then we see a zoomed out version, and Groose is kind of sitting up above where all the buildings were, and it looks like a big gladiator pin has been made, I guess. And we see everybody there going, preparation's complete, everybody hang on tight, and we see Garp, eyes shaded out, big smile on his face, laughing, just like you'd imagine Luffy laughing. And then we hear blast off, and we see his ship take flight, just like a coup de burst from the Sunny. Whether it was actually a coup de burst type move, or if it was Garp just punching and causing it to go flying, who knows? But then we get a double page panel of Garp flying in. Garp's ship flies up over the buildings and is kind of coming to a peak over that hole that was made. Everybody's freaking out. Kobe is just shocked, and we see Garp sitting there laughing hard with tears coming out of his eyes, and everybody's like, get out of there, run. Vasco shot, I believe it is, says, yep, there's no use. No way out of the center now, it's too late. And we get another double page spread of Garp jumping off the tip of the ship, And you see him just charging up the Conqueror's Hockey, which if you didn't know he had it, you do now with this movie uses. Before he attacks, he goes, "Listen up, you pirate turds. You should have thought twice before you kidnapped Kobe. He's the future of the Marines. Not to mention, he's also my irreplaceable protege." Kobe's sitting there getting all up in his head. Why would you go through all this for me? All that good stuff. And then Garp throws a punch from way above the buildings. And it's called Galaxy Fist. And that Coliseum, all the buildings around it are destroyed. He just took out so many of those pirates in just one single hit. There's a break next week. That was the last page of this chapter. So as much as I'm happy to see Garp fight, and I have mixed thoughts about this. One, Blackbeard isn't on the island. So I highly, highly doubt Garp is going to die here. That doesn't make any sense. But this is giving me huge Marineford vibes. Ace and Kobe, parallels pretty much. I mean, except for Kobe seems to have escaped for the most part, so that could be a little difference. But Garp coming in just like Whitebeard did. It makes me think Blackbeard could show up right at the end of the fight, right as they thought, oh, we've won, we're getting away, and he could take Garp out. That would make Luffy... that would shock Luffy. But this chapter made me think of something. I wonder how Garp would react to Luffy's dream. Because we know the Pirate King portion of it, but we don't know the other portion of it. And I think Garp would agree with the other portion of it. One, let me know what you think about this chapter. Two, let me know what you think happened between Blackbeard and Law, or if that's still going on. And three, do you think Garp's going to survive? Yeah, let me know what you think about that. And I'll see you in the next one.